Hey, what is going on YouTube? Hey, Aaron here. We are back on the Mac, ladies and gentlemen. We have the patch notes for you guys. You guys know me. I'm not going to sit here and read this entire thing. We also do have a little balancing article, but we're going to go over the quick and dirty version of these notes. I will link them down below if you guys really want to read the full thing. I'm sorry if I missed anything. It's about 2 a.m., and I probably had the worst Legend stream I've ever had tonight. So keep that in the back of your mind when we are reviewing these things. But anyway, the quick and dirty version is the cruiser Aguirre. That is the campaign. Italian destroyers are in early access. 3 brawl seasons, which is nice. Brawl is kind of fun. 5-week campaign. New tier 8 ships and various balance changes. So unfortunately, there's no legendary ship in this, or to come to the bureau this update or any other form. And we've got to make an entire video on that because the bureau and the legendary tier is just a failed concept. Which was pretty evident tonight on stream. I think I'm going to delete that stream if I'm being honest. But it was I can't think of a. If you were there, thank you for sticking around. I was just me complaining the whole night. But regardless of that, we have the Italian destroyers here, and they should be a fun little mix up of strategy and competitiveness in the game. So if they're anything like the Paulo. They're going to have the rolling smoke there, long reloading guns, and pretty bad torps. It looks like they will have SAP. I was going to do a whole review on the new ships here, and if you can read this little tab, we got a little spoiler alert. The Petro is coming to the game, but not in the form that we really want it to. You do have the exhaust smoke generator as well for these Italians. So we're going to try and get these. Hopefully Wargaming gives them to us, but if not, I'll whale a few crates. But of course they will be in crates for early access. Wargaming. Why would they do it any other way? So, moving on, we have the Jotun of the Seas campaign. That is the Aguirre. It should be a decent ship. I've heard some decent reviews from the super testers, but I'm just not overly excited. Right? I'm not. I guess I'm more excited than the Awami, and you guys saw my ranking video. If you didn't, you should check that out. It was a very good video, I think so. But yeah, that is the campaign, last 5 weeks, so make sure you pick that up. There is another little event like the Agincourt. Now it's for the Destroyer Commander at rank 7, so don't be tricked into spending any doubloons on this. That's right, all the people who think I'm a salesman for Wargaming, do not spend any doubloons on this. Because you just get this commander. Now, I don't know if the commander will be available without doing some sort of project. That's something I honestly haven't read into, and if it's literally right here, then oh well. We haven't read that. The new ships, here we talked about it, the Petropavlovsk. I don't know what Wargaming is thinking or what they're not thinking, but putting the Petro at tier 8 is a huge mistake. I am glad... Let me say this. I'm glad that the Petro is in the game. It is a cruiser that was desperately needed. Tier 8 is okay. And having it at tier 8 is going to make things pretty spicy, but I don't know, their balancing system makes no sense to me. I don't understand how we can buff the Colbert, nerf the Des Moines. I just don't get it. That being said, these are the ships. I'm just going to read the patch notes. Like I said, it's like 2 a.m. I had a lot of fun on Battlefield, so we're going to be doing a lot more streams, especially before this next update. But Legends tonight was just, it took it out of me. Other than that, we have the Soviet destroyer Neo Trashimi. Trashimi. It's going to be the Torp boat version, tier 8. Italian cruiser Brindisi. That should be decent. That'll be, off of the Amalfi line there. The Italian battleship Lepanto. I don't know if that's the one with 16 guns. I think was that 12? Yeah, that looks like quad turrets there. And then the Pan-European destroyer, the Smolensk. So we have two, if you guys do not know, the Petro on PC and the Smolensk on PC are tier 10s. And they are insanely strong tier 10s. The Petro is actually one of the only other cruisers that I wanted besides Des Moines. I just remember watching Flambast play it back when it was being released on PC, and he's overpenning a Kremlin, and he's like aiming mid-belt, and he's like overpens, and he obliterates a Kremlin. Now, that was obviously nerfed, but Yeah, we'll go over the stats of the Petro at the end here. Brawl returns, who cares? Epic Greco returns, who cares? And then we do have the Constellation, so we can kind of guess the ships of the next update by seeing them out in Super Test. The Constellation, besides her beautiful name, features torpedoes, radar consumable, and not bad for a battleship. So honestly, all things considered, I am actually excited to try this out. I'm sure this will be the first or the second or third week of the update. She will be released in the store for $60 worth of doubloons. So if buying American battleships is your thing, then go ahead and buy it. Balancing changes, we will briefly go over those, but the biggest one is a change to the Epic mods, and then a few bug fixes. And Durka and I actually both got hung up on this one. I'm not going to read all these, but the New Orleans radar now correctly rotates. So the radar that we don't get in the game on the top of the ship is now spinning. I am so ecstatic that that's what the developers are focusing on. Again, that is like a good thing, but who gives a shit? I don't know. Anyway, mobile changes, who cares? All right, let's look at the Petro real quick, because that is honestly the only thing that is keeping me playing Legends at this point. Like I said, I'm frustrated at the game tonight, so it's my own fault. We know that playing after 5 p.m. is my little Easter egg here. Oh man, I should keep the stream up. It was so frustrating. But anyway, the Petropavlovsk here is a Soviet Tier 10 cruiser. There were 82 cruiser. The Project 82 cruiser was edited, and two draft. Oh my God, I can't speak. Two draft designs were presented in August of 1947. Later, they were combined, and the joint project had 220 millimeter main battery guns. So basically, this is a Riga on steroids. 220s, radar, and you can see here it was one of the ship's main tasks was to oppose the USS Des Moines. Now, I have heard some rumors that this ship does not come equipped with HE. Again, Wargaming, what are we doing? Just give us the damn ship at Legendary tier and, allow us to speed up the Bureau. I don't know. I don't know what would take the Tier 8 place, so hopefully we'll get the Moskva at Legendary tier, but I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm in a complaining mood, but I don't want to complain too much. She's got a 14-second reload, so we can probably get that down to 10 seconds on Legends, or maybe even 9 with refill station. 55,000 health. I'm not sure her armor or her nose, and the 32 knot speed. One thing that is fairly interesting is the Petro does actually get a 12-kilometer radar, so I don't know if that will carry over from PC, but it says here you can get her concealment down to 12.4 with a 12-kilometer radar. So it's strong AA, outstanding AP HE shell velocity. So that leads to very accurate shots. You don't have to lead them, as opposed to the Des Moines or something like that. Excellent AP pen, which again, these are all good things for tier 10 on PC, but when you transfer them over to Legends, what you get half the time is just overpens and just overpens with this strong AP. But anyway, that is the ship, guys. I'm really excited to play that one. We will definitely be whaling that one day one. So by the time you get these notes, make sure you get your elite XP on the Riga and corresponding ships up to I think 150,000. But anyway, this is the ship, and we'll look at the balancing changes real quick, and then I'm going to bed. Epic modification tweaks, so only after 3 updates that they finally kind of thought about this, and even then it's not the best solution, but again, at least they're trying to, I will give them credit where credit is due. They're trying to change the game a little bit. So instead of having to do main battery hits or whatever, you will simply have to inflict 30,000 damage with your ship by any means during the battle. To max out this performance, you'll have to inflict 150,000. So that'll be nice for spamming ships and battleships, but for destroyers, I don't think so. But anyway, like I said, at least they're trying. The ship overview traits refreshed. So, for example, the Yamato's superior HE damage trait has been replaced. None of these have ever meant anything, so again, who cares? Ship balancing. Charles Hughes buff. I'm so glad that I'm reading this at 2 a.m. Flander. This is actually a good buff. The Flander is dog shit, if we're being honest. And it looks like it's going to be more meme-worthy in terms of secondaries. Main battery reload reduced, concealment reduced. So basically a huge, buff, except for this one. Chance of flooding have been increased. What does that mean? Does that mean they've removed torpedo reduction from the armor belt? Now, I do know that certain ships have certain hull types from now again, I could be sounding very ignorant from this statement, but the chance of flood, is it not the same depending on where you hit for all ships? I guess maybe the torpedo reduction aside, but if one of my experts knows, please tell me in the comments down below, because that to me is we just learned that torpedo modules have RNG, so anyway, I'm too tired to deal with this right now. Champagne buff, I'm going to be honest, the Champagne was a rough ship for me for a while, but we have been getting some gnarly games in this ship, so the Champagne with a added main battery reload booster, yikes, that might even be a competitive ship. With how accurate that thing can be, yeah. Here's the gas cone, who cares? There's the buffs, I'll never play that thing. Charles Hughes, reload, AA time, and torpedo time, and added AA defense. Here's something that I found interesting as well, talking about the game mechanics, because when you learn the game mechanics, you can understand the game a little bit better. It's just like saying, resetting my commanders, for example. Well, probably not true. We're just following into things of RNG. But here's something, sometimes we deal with, which is the buff to the ZF6. So she gets 1,000 extra health, okay? So decent little buff there. The ZF6 is in a good spot, but not often played. So the bow, so for example, you have HP on each section of your ship. So the bow HP has been increased from 25 to 2,600. Stern, same, 100. And then we have, the whole magazine, and then the magazine. But if you're adding these up, 100, 100, what is 700? I can't do math right now. And then we have 500 here. That's more than 1,000, right? So you have more than 18,000. You combine all these numbers throughout the ship. So that's sometimes when you take a torp on the bow, you can take up to 2 or 3 torps because you've maxed out this damage, and then you eventually, sometimes you'll work to the hull. So that is just a little game mechanic, but I found this very interesting because these buffs add up to over 1,000. But again, learning the game mechanics and understanding the game better helps you do better. But my teammates tonight they probably didn't even know how to press A. God. Anyway, Torrento. HE shells were lagging behind. Why are we using HE on Torrento? Everyone always asks me, it's like, why don't you use HE on Amalfi? If I want an HE slinging cruiser, I'm going to choose anything other than Amalfi. I do think the SAP shells oversaturate fairly quickly, but if I'm choosing the Amalfi, I'm playing it with SAP. But here's a few of the other buffs, and guys, that is it. Appreciate you guys watching. The support for the channel has been awesome. I was kind of happy that like 80 people stayed to watch me rage last night. So if you got to see my little rage fest there, I appreciate it. But yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for the patch notes. I hope everyone has a great day. I appreciate the viewership, man. You guys are awesome. I'm probably gonna be playing a lot more Battlefield up until the update. Maybe during the day tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. Tonight I'm just done with Legends, so. But, that's why it's just like golf. You keep playing, you hit a terrible shank shot, you keep playing, right? So I appreciate you guys. And, yeah, everyone have a great day. Make sure to like the video, comment on what you're most excited about or least excited about. And AA run out. Peace.